everyone. So how are you guys doing? This is our last live of the series PCOS Ki Kahani. We have actually spoken with every possible person who could guide you to PCOS to get you insights into what PCOS is all about. Today we are going to do a live with me, Marina, actually talking to me about PCOS and homeopathy. So this is Marina DaCosta, a PCOS warrior as I like to call her. She has beautifully managed her PCOS with homeopathy and lifestyle changes, stress management the Vriddhi way. So let's know a little about Marina and what she does. Marina is an anthropologist, currently a researcher in the field of public health. So you can imagine how much on a daily basis she deals with people and health and stuff like that. And she also has a decade of experience in working with young people, training them into human rights. Marina, this is really awesome. As I've always told you that I like this thing about you working with people on human rights, because it's so very important to make people aware of their rights. And she also is working on national and international youth movements. She's also been a panelist, guess where? At the UN General Assembly. Now this is really very huge. And she's also the founder of the banner, The Power of Dialogue. I believe she really understands that it's so important to communicate and to talk to people and to talk on varied topics. So I think she is the perfect host for today's series, as she is going to be questioning me all about PCOS. So yes, Marina, it's all yours. And what do you have to ask about PCOS?
Thank you so much, Dr. Bhavi, for having me here. And really, before I start my conversation with Dr. Bhavi, let me share with you what I did with PCOS. So for long years, I was battling PCOS. Okay, and today when I recall, it looks like a social drama that I was entering. Okay, and my problem was, as you know, that I used to have excessive bleeding, and sometimes it took like 15 to 16 days.
Yes,
and it was so traumatic.
I remember your calls, I remember your messages.
Yeah, and it was so traumatic and it was so stressful.
It was.
So today I'm really proud, I can really, I've really fought actually this entire thing of PCOS.
So that's why you're a warrior.
Yes, I'm a warrior. Yes, definitely a warrior.
A PCOS warrior.
Yes, thank you so much for calling me a warrior.
Yes.
And when I came to you, I had no idea what homeopathy was, and I had a lot of sessions, but yes, I can say that has worked wonders for me. So guys, on that note, let's start with PCOS ki kahani, Dr. Bhavi ki zubani.
Thank you so much for being here, and it's my pleasure in fact to have a patient who is actually being helped by homeopathy talk to me about homeopathy and PCOS. So it's a privilege for us. Yeah, so let's get started.
So let's get started with that. So I have followed the series on PCOS.
Yes.
And I've seen the interviews with the dermatologists, gynecologists.
Yes.
And I'm sure that by this series, people have understood or got a sense of what PCOS is.
Absolutely.
But yet I would like to ask you what exactly PCOS is.
So just to tell you in very simple terms, we have ovaries which releases eggs every single month. Yeah. So generally you will have one egg that matures and that gets released. So now imagine an ovary where multiple eggs are maturing but not getting released. They get entrapped. Okay, they get entrapped in the ovary, and so you have multiple cysts within the ovaries. So when you do a sonography, you will see multiple cysts in the ovary, and that's what's called as PCOS, that is polycystic ovarian syndrome. Yeah. So generally when patients come to me, either they will come with irregular menstrual cycles or excessive bleedings or something related to do with their menstrual cycles, or they will come up with a lot of acne. Yeah, so these are the two main concerns that people see me with. Or sometimes they've been like you had a series of things got done, and you already came in with a diagnosed PCOS case. Right. So people do walk in with a diagnosis of PCOS also, and then we treat them accordingly, according to the cause or according to the history, the elaborate history that we have in homeopathy. We actually define the person in terms of their personality, their physical appearance, their mental appearance, their genetics, and that's how the patient is individualized. And then a selected remedy is administered to the patient along with many other things that you are aware of. So we'll talk about that as we go ahead.
Yeah, so what causes PCOS?
So if you have to tell me what causes PCOS, till date we have not been able to attribute one single cause to PCOS. Okay, so the probable causes, what you may tell is either insulin resistance or inflammation in the body, and the most important cause is lifestyle.
Yeah, that's the word, lifestyle.
Yes, lifestyle. So PCOS is actually a lifestyle disorder, if I have to put it that way. If you see, our lifestyle has changed drastically from what probably our parents had or our grandparents had. We are moving in an age I like to call as fast forward. Everything is fast forward. Everything is fast. There is fast food, there is fast internet connection, there is now 5G coming in.
And there is fast dating.
So, yes, fast dating, fast breakups, everything is fast. So in the rigmarole of the daily, life wherein you want to, try and do everything in a short period of time, your health takes a toll. Yeah, and then eating the wrong foods and sleeping at the wrong timings, not listening to your body will give you some or the other bodily complaint. For young girls, it manifests at times as PCOS.
Okay.
So that are the causes, probable causes of PCOS, you could put them as.
Yeah. So there's always this question, especially when we are dealing with some health concerns like this, that can PCOS be cured completely?
Okay, so here what I generally, when I am posed with this question, and in fact even you had asked me when you came to me, what I tell is PCOS can be managed. Okay, it cannot be cured. I simply say it cannot be cured because there are a couple of things along with medicines that you have to do for PCOS. So in terms of lifestyle changes, in terms of stress management, in terms of taking care of your own self-love is what I call it, and taking medicines. Now medicines can be anything that you want to. It can be homeopathy, it can be Ayurveda, it can be allopathy. I believe in homeopathy and I prescribe only homeopathy. So yes, I am going to favor homeopathy.
Yeah, so now that PCOS can be managed,
yes,
how homeopathy helps in managing PCOS?
Okay, so homeopathy, as we all know, is a very holistic science. Okay, so in homeopathy we will not segregate the person into PCOS is disease of the ovary. Okay. I will say Marina has PCOS. I'm not going to say Marina's ovaries have PCOS or Marina's endocrine system is not functioning well. For me, it's Marina. So it's the patient. Okay, so I look at you as a whole. I will look at, as I told you and as you experienced that the case taking was quite elaborate. Like we will ask you your likes, your dislikes, how you react, how you respond, what are the things that bother you, what foods that you like to eat, how you react to climate changes, what is your genetic history. So that gives us a complete picture of the patient. Okay, and homeopathy is known to act on the psychoneuroendocrine axis, that is called the PNE axis. So when we administer the right homeopathic medicine to you, what happens is it will work on the psychoneuroendocrine axis, thereby setting your hormones straight. So we are trying to help your body manage its own endocrine system. We are not administering anything from outside. We are allowing your body to take over, take charge of your health and see that your endocrine system starts functioning as normally as it would. So when your endocrine system functions normally, your periods are going to be regular, your hirsutism is going to go low, your acne is going to go low. Of course, everything is a combined effort. Right. So I can't just say that only giving my medicine is going to help. No. So I am giving you medicines that's helping your hormones to an extent. But if you don't follow the lifestyle changes, you go back to where you were. So I had a case which I was treating of a young girl who beautifully was, managed with homeopathy and all the lifestyle changes that we spoke about. And then, as you know how teenagers are, she slipped back into her old eating habits and, not exercising and stuff like that. And she came back again with all the symptoms of PCOS.
Right. So it triggers if you are not,
Yes. So that's why I told you it can be managed and not cured. Like if you would tell me sardi khasi hota hai, I tell you, this is cured. Right. But when you come to me with PCOS, even when you came to me, I told you, Marina, we can manage this.
Right.
We will help you manage this.
Right.
So as long as you follow everything that we ask you to follow, you're going to be
Yeah,
all
like
good.
I remember when I came to you, and I was quite surprised, that you actually started with a session about what you love eating,
Yes.
what you love doing. I'm like, what kind of diagnosis or thing it is you, right?
Yeah.
So I remember the earlier sessions were basically on the lifestyle.
Yes,
And
it is
yeah,
more on the lifestyle. It's
Right.
more about what you like
You
to
like
do.
doing.
So we push you to do things that you love to do. So
Right.
when you are in that happy space, your happy hormones are
Yeah, like I
secreted.
remember you asked me if I love dancing, and I said yes.
Yes.
And that's how I enrolled myself into a dance class
Yes.
then.
Yes.
Like very much there. And I think it's funny, like after maybe 8 years of whatever treatment I've been going through, I come running to you and tell you, Dr. Bhav, you know what, there is a slip. I think I have, not done this thing. And I anticipate, and you keep laughing at me saying that, now you have mastered your own diagnosis then.
Yes.
So
you
that
become
is
very
what-
much more.
Exactly.
Like
Like
I'm
aware of it.
yes, you become aware of it, and then you are already doing sound meditation. So I
Right.
think that helps you manage your
Right.
stress levels. It's very important to manage your stress levels in terms of when you do a yoga, or you do relaxation techniques, or you do guided imagery techniques, or you do breathing exercises. For you, it was sound bowl meditation. So
Right.
whatever you like,
Right.
basically it has to be something that you resonate with and what you like to do. As you know, my thumb rule is don't prescribe anything that the patient doesn't like.
Right.
So you have to allow the patient to do things that they like to do. It
Right.
cannot be enforced by me saying you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. No. It has to be, okay, what you like to do. What are the foods that you like to eat? And from that we come to some basic things. Of course, if you tell me I want to eat a pizza every day, I cannot give you the pizza every day. I will tell you when to eat and how to eat. Of course, when we plan diets with PCOS, that's what we do. That we will give you foods that you like. We will even allow you to eat junk foods, but on a certain they eat right, eat at the right time, then eating less. It's like, it's because it's said that PCOS is interlinked with obesity. So a lot of people feel that I will do fat diets, I will lose 10 kilos, I will lose 20 kilos and I'll be all set. You lose the 20 kilos the healthy way, you'll be all set. You lose even 5 kilos the healthy way, your PCOS will respond very, very well. It's said even a 5% weight loss can help you manage your symptoms of PCOS beautifully. So when we are planning diets for PCOS patients, we include all food groups.
Okay.
No food groups is eliminated from the diet.
Right.
So the other day I had a patient come to me and she was like, you are giving me carbs at night. And I said, yes, I know what I'm doing. Please eat the carbs.
I'm the doctor.
Yeah. It's more about eating complex carbohydrates,
Right.
eating foods that are not going to spike your insulin, because with PCOS there is insulin resistance. So it's very important to understand what kind of foods that you're going to eat and what kind of foods are going to help you heal. So the nutritionist session that we had, we actually discussed a lot of foods that a PCOS patient can eat and what they should not eat and what are the superfoods for PCOS. So if you follow those foods and try to manage yourself, I think you're good to go. And if not, I think you should consult somebody who can help you plan a proper diet and not give you fat diets. So you don't cut out any food item, you don't cut out any food groups, but at the same time you're eating healthy. That's very, very important. And you're eating in a way that your insulin is, managed well. So that's what it comes to the dietary changes.
Right.
And I'm sure you remember me asking you what time do you wake up and what time do you sleep.
I used to write articles at 2 a.m. in the morning, and I've stopped that completely.
Yes.
Yeah,
you
it's
stopped.
be live on like 2 a.m. in the morning,
I
doing
remember.
some Facebook stuff.
Yes. And I used to tell you, Marina, this is not going to work.
Right.
Because it's very important to maintain your biological clock. Okay, so if you're going to sleep at the same time and wake up at the same time, your body knows that, okay, I'm going to get these hours of rest. This is my sleep time, this is my wake up time, and this is the time that I get to heal the body. Now, if you one day wake up at, sleep at 3 a.m. and the next day you sleep at around 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. in the morning,
Right.
or sometimes you sleep at 10 p.m. at night, 12 p.m. at night, the body keeps guessing. So the biological clock which is there in the body doesn't know what to do. So then the hormones again go haywire, and there's no time for your body to heal. Your body heals when you are asleep. So you have to give body that rest, that time to recoup so that it recharges you for the activities the next day. Otherwise what happens is you are tired, you're fatigued, you're stressed, then your efficiency goes down, your productivity goes low, and the next day when you're at work, even the boss irritates, the colleagues irritate
Everything
you,
around you is
everything irritates. So if you're going to classes or if you're going, then your friends irritate, your mother irritates, everybody irritates. Yeah.
Right.
So it's very important to sleep well, to get those 8 hours of sleep and sleep at the same time and wake up at the same time. You know, it's extremely important for a patient with PCOS. And I think sleep is something I still struggle with people to make them do it. But yeah, they are getting the hang of it, and somewhere because I'm constantly on their head,
Yeah.
it happens. So
Right.
yeah, these are the things that we have to manage with PCOS.
So every treatment has a duration.
Yes.
So in your experience, how much time does it take for a PCOS patient to treat it?
So for patients like you who follow everything to the T,
I think it took 2 years.
it took 2 years. But generally, for girls who are unmarried, we tell them to continue treatment till at least 1 pregnancy because PCOS is known to have that infertility factor associated with it. Obesity, infertility goes hand in hand with PCOS. So we generally ask them to continue treatment till they have 1 pregnancy, and till that time I'm sure they have imbibed all the changes,
Right.
and then they are not going to go wrong anywhere. So we just want to see that we can help them manage their pregnancy. Of course, we have our gynecologist friends who help us through it, and as homeopathy as a support. So it's always a teamwork.
Right.
And I generally believe that it has to be a teamwork, and it's the patient first. So, you know, we have to do everything that is best for the patient. So, yes, and we have seen even reversals in cases of PCOS where even the sonography report shows that there are no cysts. But yes, we still ask them to continue treatment at least
Right.
till 1 pregnancy.
So there are multiple factors that are at play.
So
of
it will
PCOS.
depend from actually patient to patient. The duration will also depend from patient to patient. So I cannot say, okay, this is the time duration.
Right.
But yeah, so on generally, if an unmarried patient till 1 pregnancy, if a married patient is coming who can really absorb the changes that we are asking them to do, generally if they have 3 normal menstrual cycles, we try and wean them off homeopathy and tell them that if need be, we can restart.
Right.
You know, that's what we do. So it's a very individualistic approach when it comes to homeopathy, with even, you know, duration of treatment as the treatment is.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So basically, assessing where the need would be. Like.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And my final question to you is this: when I encountered homeopathy and I spoke about this to my friends and other people, like many of them were of the opinion that this doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't work, or it's a placebo science. So what do you have to say about this?
So what more can I say about this and than me having a live testimonial here who herself is
Absolutely.
saying that homeopathy works. So it's not only you or your friends who believe that homeopathy is a placebo science, or it doesn't work, or it has steroids for that matter, you know. But I'm really glad that it's you who's talking about homeopathy and reiterating that confidence and instilling that confidence in people that yes, homeopathy works. And as a homeopath, I would like to say that homeopathy works, and it definitely works very, very well in cases of hormones, in cases of thyroid, PCOS, allergies, skin disorders, multiple things. So of course each pathy has its scope and limitation. So if you're working within the scope and limitations, you should as a homeopath also know your limitations.
Yeah.
So if it is a surgical case and if I claim that okay, homeopathy will work, that's not right on my part to
Right.
do that. But yeah, so when you're working in the scope of homeopathy, it works beautifully, and it is one science which has no side effects. The pills are sweet to take,
Yes.
so I like to call it the
Like I remember when I
Yeah.
was assessing, it's just about 1 pill, just pop it.
Yeah,
you know,
it's just about one
yeah.
pill, you pop it, and I like to call it sweet solutions for bitter ailments is what I call homeopathy. And I remember, I had the Bachu patients coming to me and they call me Mithi Masi. Mithi means sweet and Masi means auntie. So somebody who's dispensing sweet pills, that's how they label
That's
me.
so sweet.
Yeah, it is, so we have testimonials, we have reports to show you that yes, homeopathy works for PCOS, and yes, there are these rumors and stuff like that going on about it being a placebo science and steroid. And one thing that I want to say is, whenever in doubt, take the medicine and get it tested from a laboratory.
Right.
And ask your homeopath what test to do, because not all testing is going to give you that proper result, because generally the test you do for steroid is a reducing sugar test, and as you know, hamari meethi goli, our
Yes.
sweet pills are made from sugar. So if you do a reducing sugar test, you get a false positive result,
Right,
So the
right.
result will be positive, but it's false. So
Right.
ask us what test to do, and we are more than happy to help you, tell you that yes, you can test our medicines for steroids and understand what your homeopathic doctor is giving you. I'm sure we have more than 3,000 remedies in homeopathy. I'm sure no homeopath wants to resort to steroids. And maybe one or two spoiled mangoes in the basket. I don't think the entire basket
No,
is
I'm an
spoiled.
anthropologist myself, and I
Yes.
have a background to medical anthropology, and I
Yeah.
know that people do talk a lot about illness and disease and
Yes.
how they perceive certain
Yes.
medicines.
Yes.
So I think it's more of the belief and more like
Yes.
what works for you.
Yeah,
I mean, why not
yes.
if it works for me?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm free from all that I struggled in
So
the
I
15 months.
sometimes even laugh. ठीक है प्लेसिबो है ना आपको हेल्प मिला ना ले लो कुछ गलत तो नहीं करेगा. It's not harming you in any way.
It's like प्यार अंधा होता है. You just go
Yes,
ahead
just
and
go
play.
and try it out. At least try it out to
Right.
experience, have your own experiences. Just don't go by what people are saying or what people are trying to tell you. So in fact, we had even a research from a few IIT scientists who have actually made researched and written a paper on how homeopathy works. So we now have a scientific evidence too, which says that homeopathy works, and we definitely have a lot of research that's being done earlier, which definitely says that homeopathy works. A lot of research going on in Israel and other countries, which again support the evidence that homeopathy works. But yeah, so there is a lot of market which will say homeopathy doesn't work, but that's fine. I think that's all right. Each
Yeah.
one to its own, and I'm not here to criticize anybody.
Absolutely.
But experience it before you just put it down the bin is all I would like to tell you. Before you discard it, at least experience
Yeah, I'm a great
it.
example of that because I was
Yeah.
like, just go and try because I never knew anything about.
Yeah, I remember you coming and telling me I've come here because one of my friends really insisted that you go in for me. I'm telling you that
Yeah,
you
I
have
was
to
like, why
go
is
once.
doctor is asking all these good counseling questions to me? Have I get the
Yeah, talk about the ovaries, man. Why are you talking about my ovaries?
Get me seriously thinking about it. But yeah, those sessions were fun, and I loved the sessions.
And you be working so much into mental health, and
Absolutely.
you yourself helping so many people with counseling and stuff like that. And then to you feeling that why am I asking this? You can imagine what other people go through,
Absolutely.
So yeah, so I think when people start to understand that it's more about a balance of the mind and balance of the physical body, that's what homeopathy is all about. We try to balance your mind, your body, your emotion, your spiritual being. We try and put everything together, and that's what is health. And that's what WHO in fact defines as health. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
just absence of
yeah,
disease,
it's a-
but
it's not holistic
it's a
thing.
holistic
Right.
well-being that the
Completely.
person should experience.
Right.
The person has to come and tell me, doc, I am okay, not my ovaries is okay, right? At the end of the day, you have to feel okay, you have to feel good. That's what it's all
Right.
about, and that's what we aim at. So yeah, so that's what homeopathy is all about, and that's how we look at it when I say how we treat a patient of PCOS at Riddhi. It's again lifestyle changes, it's going to be dietary changes, and it's going to be homeopathic medicines.
Right.
That's how I like to call it treating a patient of PCOS the Riddhi way. So these are the three things that we generally will work on when you come to us for PCOS. And results, I think I need not say more, you've already said more about it.
Right.
We have been treating a lot of patients with PCOS, and actually in fact seeing so many patients of PCOS come to me, we decided to do this entire series of PCOS Ki Kahani, because I felt when 1 in 10 women are suffering from PCOS, you can imagine that it's a huge number. 1 in 10 is really huge. Really huge. And PCOS is known to be associated with obesity, infertility, it's all heart changes, diabetes. Like if you have PCOS, somewhere you may get into diabetes at a later stage. So it's always important I felt that it was important to guide people to take charge of their own health at the right time, so that you are not falling into those chronic ailments later on, and your body is healthy, because as you know, we believe in stay healthy, stay happy, giving back your health in your hands. That's what I truly believe in, and that's why I felt I could do this little bit to actually help people know a little about
that's little bit
PCOS.
a huge contribution that you have been making.
That's That's very kind of you to say that. But yeah, I felt, that was a need of the hour, because if you understand that this is more to do with lifestyle,
Right.
I don't have PCOS, but if I manage my lifestyle, your chances of getting PCOS is zero.
Oh wow, that means you preventive measures.
Of course,
for
this
that.
is preventive.
Wow.
So when you are talking of lifestyle changes, when I'm talking of the hashtags that we have on the group, let's walk, let's eat breakfast,
Right.
let's sit, let's sleep, let's breathe, let's smile, and let's express, we are actually talking of something that is going to cause health promotion, avoid chronic health diseases. These are ways to avoid hypertension, diabetes, PCOS, thyroid. In my practice, generally when thyroid patient comes to me, I have seen that it's more to do when they are not able to vent out.
Okay.
Okay, so when emotions are not expressed or are within, or sometimes you're angry, frustrated, and all that is building upon you, is when your endocrine system. So emotions and endocrine is very closely related. That is what I have figured out in my 22 years of practice now, that yes, it is your emotions and it is your psyche affecting your soma.
Right.
Sometimes it is even your soma affecting the psyche. So certain cases, you do see that it was a physical ailment that has led to a mental imbalance or a mental stress, and sometimes it is your emotions that has led you to a physical ailment. So you try and balance between your physical and your mental health, and I think you're just good to go. You are all good to stay healthy and stay happy.
Wow, I'm really privileged, Dr. Bhavi, that I'm here today, testifying the wonders homeopathy has worked for me. And nothing better than PCOS ki kahani with Dr. Bhavi ki zuban hai. So thank you so much for having me here.
In fact,
It's really a pleasure.
I should thank you for taking out this time, and you have a busy work schedule, and I know how busy you are, but you've made that extra zing just for me, and I'm really thankful to you for that.
Thank you so
that
much.
you made your time. I know you've done a lot of adjustments to be here. So yeah, and before I end, I would like to tell that we always look upon stars for everything. So if we have to say, Sonal Kapoor suffered from PCOS, and if you Google Harnaam Kaur, okay, she is a lady or a girl, whatever you like to call her, who believes my body, my rules. She is a patient of PCOS, and she actually grows a beard, wears a turban converted into a Sikh, who says that whatever you have, accept yourself. It's your body and only your rules work. Because I've seen when patients come to me with PCOS, there is a lot of low self-esteem because you have acne, you have hair fall, you have dark skin, you get those patches, and then you have obesity. So the self-esteem is very, very low. So all I want to tell to the viewers who are viewing this is, if they can do it, you can do it too. And if she can do it, you can just do it. So that's all from us at Vriddhi Holistic Healthcare, the last and final episode of PCOS Ki Kahani. I hope we have been able to give you some insights into PCOS, and if you still have questions, please write in the comments below and we will do our best to answer all your queries. Thank you so much for having us or listening to us and giving us this great what I would say is viewership, because you guys have been a great support to us. So I would like to thank each of my viewers and each person who is on the group and on my page. Thank you so much.
Thank you.